back to my channel. I'm going to be trying to film 3 days in a row for you guys. So this is day 1. So this one here likes to untie herself. Are you hiding? Because you do. So I'm going to kind of show you guys how I'm fixing that. Let's get started. So I'm going to kind of explain. So the minute she grabs the rope, chews on the rope, tries to pull it and untie herself, rears up on the fence as she does sometimes and kind of slams into it, I'm going to untie her and make her hustle and put her to work, and then retie her again and continue the process. She just got done working, so she should want to stand still. All we did was some backing around the block. And she wants to start off right away by chewing it. All right, we'll go back to work then. So I don't allow the chewing either because that's what she does to untie herself. Fine. So I'll just use my little shelter here and get her working. That's the first time, and again, this is day 3 for me, that she's done it right away. And that's interesting because we just got done working. So, in a circle, and then take her back where she was tied, and back her up. Back up. So it's been about 10 minutes, and she's standing really good. And I know my mom, when we're at events and she's tied, my mom loves to walk up and give her treats and all that. So I also, when she's being good, I'll come in and give her her cue word, which is yes, and give her a treat. And then I'll leave, because another thing I want to make sure is somebody can walk up and give her a treat and walk away, and she's not going to untie herself. Yesterday, every time I gave her a treat and rewarded her, she tried to untie herself. So we have to break that habit. Right there, she grabbed it. I was okay with her yawning, but not grabbing the lead rope, so I'm going to back her up and send her off. Let's go. Come on. With a little bit more energy, please. Use my pole here to kind of pull her around. So I've seen that. She's not always going to get to see her buddy, especially if I'm competing one. And then I have this one packed up at the trailer, waiting for her turn to go.
So for day 2, it was actually a week later because we got tons of snow and rain, which made a bunch of ice. And you can see she is tacked up. And she was actually tied shorter for this session as well. So I like to mix it up where they're tied, how long they're tied, and whether or not they're tacked. Just so if anything ever happens, I know that I have prepared them for that situation as much as possible. She was tied for about 20-25 minutes, somewhere around there. And I literally just walked away, kind of left the situation for a little bit to come back to see if maybe she had messed with the rope. When I came back, it didn't look like the rope had been messed with at all. Obviously, watching this footage back, I can see right here what she kind of does. She's tied to a rubber tire, and she's kind of chewing on it a little bit. But what I like about this is how quickly she gives up. She kind of grabs it with her lips a few times and kind of realizes, oh, I'm not supposed to really be doing this, and she gives it up real quick. So now if I had been out there and seen this, I would have corrected her for that, but not right there with the rubbing her face on it. Not a big deal to me, but definitely the chewing, I would have corrected her for that, but she didn't untie herself, so that's a plus. So I love this here. She's licking and chewing. She's kind of watching me groom Kamani in the distance. And then she starts to yawn a lot. So she is able to kind of settle down and relax being tied. And I'm really starting to like that. There she's just kind of nudging the rope. I was watching her. She didn't actually put her mouth on it. She's just kind of itching her face on it. That I don't have a problem with at all. And right here, she kicks and then gets comfortable. Not sure what that was about, but shortly after we ended the session. Okay, so day 3 was a little trickier because the girls had ran out of hay, and while I was laying a bale down, I had them in the round pen, and they were both kicking the panels, slamming into it, trying to bust the gate open. So they both got tied. So that's variable number 1, is they have hay down now. They had ran out through the night. Variable number 2 is Kamani is now going to be tied also, but away from Avalon. Variable number 3, Avalon did not get worked before being tied, so she is being tied fresh from the start. And number 4 was it's majorly windy. So lots of different things that could cause Avalon to want to untie herself today. So I wanted to tie her in a space where I didn't have much room to do a lot of movement with her, only because I kind of wanted to show you this can be done in a small space too, where you see where her butt is behind her, you can see is ice, and up in front of her, where the camera is a mix of ice and a little bit of mud. So yeah, you guys will get to see different ways that you can do and get them working when they try to untie themselves in a smaller space. Now in the summer I'm going to be doing this more. In the winter it's kind of hard to be consistent with all the weather changes and all the ice and mud. So I will be being more consistent about this in the summertime. So right here she grabs the rope, starts to play with it and try to untie herself. And the reason you guys never see her fully untie herself is because I don't let it get to that point. You can see right away I'm marching over to get her untied. She stops the minute she sees me coming. So I'm not letting her get to that point. So what I'm going to do is untie her. You can see she's already a little worried. She knows she's going to get worked. I'll work on that later, on fixing her not being, worried about me coming and untying her. So you can see she's crooked. I really don't care. I'm going to ask for a few steps here and there for her to go straight, but my main goal right this second is just to get her working. So I'll do a little bit of backing, and then we'll do some yielding, and then we'll tie her back up. I did this for about a minute or so, so I'm not going to show that whole thing. This video is already getting a little bit long. Again, here she started to try to untie herself, so I just went right back in and did some yielding, just putting their feet to work as much as you can. So just kind of getting her moving, letting her know that this is not okay. Then I'm going to back her up. She's a little Kirkwood. Now right there she's trying to go to the barn because there's hay. So there I'll definitely straighten her out because I'm not going to let her drag me into the barn. And then we're going to back up and go back and tie again. So you don't have to do just backing. You can do backing, you can do side passing, you can do yielding hindquarters, yielding forequarters, sending, lunging. Whatever works for you to get their feet moving really quick is what you're going to want to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you guys can see Kamani in the background parts. And yeah, definitely I'm gonna be doing this way more in the summer. In the winter, like I said, with all the ice and mud, it's kind of hard to keep it consistent. And you can see here she's kind of putting her head and leaning against the panel. That I'm okay with a little bit, but normally she takes her whole neck and just slams into the panel. Then I would definitely untie her and do this again. Thanks for watching.